like it. I love it. I want some more.
All right, let's turn our attention to the third game of the night, which was the Flames versus the Stars, our first Canada team. Not playing in Canada, though. We're not there just yet, at least on this podcast. We've been there, though. This series is a funky one when you get into it. So the series is deadlocked at 2-2 currently, and they've just been trading games. Game one, Calgary scored one goal, and Dallas scored zero. Game two, Dallas said, "Hey, we're gonna one up you, and we're gonna score two goals." And Calgary said, "Well, it's our turn to not score any, so do what you must." Then they came back the next day, and Dallas said, "You know what? We're at home, so we're gonna win first this time. We're gonna double again and go up to four." And Calgary said, "Whoa, we're not there yet. We're gonna double our max and just get two, because we haven't been there yet." And then in this game four game, Calgary said, "Okay, we'll double again. We'll go up to four. Are you guys gonna match us?" And Dallas said, "Match you? Hang on a second. You guys have scored one, two, zero, and now four, and we've scored zero, two, and four. We forgot to score one." So Dallas had to get their one goal game in. So, looking at the series right now, I was looking at the stats and I was laughing to myself. They have both scored 7 goals and both let up 7 goals. It is the same team playing each other. They are best friends and they are just trading off games. You'd be a fool if you didn't say that going back home now Calgary was going to win. I'd pick something of a score of probably like 7-6 overtime, like 7 overtime game, because it's 6-6 because that's where they're both going next, obviously. And then eventually, they would just say, "Well, we neither of us can score anymore. So what do we do? We're not allowed to score more than double. We've done all our doubling, so be 6-6, and then 7 overtimes later, a goalie falls asleep, and one squeaks through, and they have no idea who to award the goal to, or if it was a real goal, but they just call it, and one team gets very upset that they didn't keep doubling their score. So, in reality, do I expect that to happen? No, because neither of these two teams can score a lot of goals. I think four is going to be the max. I think they're going to cap it at four, so I think it's going to be low scoring again. I'd be interested to see um, where we can go from here, but let's stop talking about the future and start talking about this game four game. This was an exciting game to watch. Oh my goodness. Another game with a lot of penalties, which is making me think that maybe the Rangers game, Rangers versus the Penguins, had a tiny amount of penalties, and I shouldn't base all of my penalty knowledge off of the first game that I talked about, and maybe I should look at the other games first, but it looks like a lot of penalties. It looks like a crazy amount, especially in the third period. When stay out of the box in the third period, get them out of the way. But anyways, first period empties. There's nothing like a good blank playoff game in the first where you're like, okay, all right, now it's time to check in. Now we're gonna go, and then only one in the second, and it's a power play goal. You guys know how much I love power play goals. Looking at this score sheet makes me so happy. We've got 2 power play goals, a penalty shot, and an empty net. So you're given an advantage, you take advantage of the advantage, use it to your benefit, help you win the game. Calgary wins this one 4-1, like I said earlier, behind some nice play by Johnny Hockey. Johnny Gaudreau came through, really nice penalty shot goal. Ended up being the game-winning goal. Had an assist on the next goal. Was kind of all over the place, as he usually is, kind of flitting in and out. Just has his hand on the game at all times. Not overpowering, but he's there. And you know he's there, and there's not much you can do about it. It's kind of how much of an impact is he going to make that day. You have no say in it. Johnny Gaudreau led his team in points in this game, had a goal and an assist, like I said earlier. From the Dallas side of things, you had nobody with more than 1 point, so it's a tough place to go to. Um, but if you're Dallas, you don't be disheartened. I mean, like I said earlier, it's same amount of goals and assists for or goals scored and goals allowed. It's 7-7 in the whole series, which is a hilarious stat, and I love everything about it. And I mean, if you're looking at other things, obviously neither teams are scoring a lot of goals. They're not leading the leagues in their categories, but both teams, their highest point getter is 4 points for both teams. So Johnny Gaudreau with 4 points and Joe Pavelski with 4 points. And you might say, well, how does Johnny Gaudreau get his points? Well, obviously he has 1 goal and 3 assists because he's a team player and he loves his teammates and he wants them to be happy. So he passes them the puck. And Joe Pavelski, on the other hand, has 3 goals and 1 assist, doesn't like his teammates, selfish, wants to score goals, wants to be the hero. Who doesn't, honestly? From the Dallas Stars' point of view, your question's got to be with, oh, captain, my captain, Jamie Benn. I mean, what are you doing down there? No goals, no assists. You're only 32. 37-year-olds up here leading you guys to victory. I think if you're a Dallas Stars fan, I think it's better to look at the series like we're tied and Jamie Benn hasn't even gotten going yet versus, oh my goodness, Jamie Benn can't do anything. Because I think it's important to understand that he is a good player and he will get going. Looking at the season stats, Jason Robertson with 79 points is impressive, and in the playoffs, how's our boy Robertson? He has 1 point. So maybe that's your guy. Maybe it's not Jamie Benn. I lean towards Jamie Benn because he's a veteran, but Jason Robertson, young blood, 22 years old, only has 1 point, and it's an assist. Hasn't scored at all in the playoffs. So maybe it's a little nerves. Maybe it's a little upsetting, but I mean, my man scored 41 goals in the season, led your team in goals scored. It's hard to win a playoff series without your leading goal scorer scoring. I'll put that out there. So I think Dallas Stars fans, obviously Jimmy Benn, but they might be leaning more towards, hey, we need Jason Robertson to score some goals. And if you're Jason Robertson, these 4 games, they didn't happen. It's a 2-2 series. It is the same team. So they didn't happen. Nothing's happened so far. Go out, play your game. No need to feel stressed or like you've let your team down because it's a 3-game series. It's always been a 3-game series. There will be a game 7. I can guarantee that with these two teams. It'll be exciting. It'll come down to the wire. Very evenly matched teams, which is really exciting to watch. Doing a great job. Just kind of back and forth play. Exciting at one end, exciting at the other end. Just really, really fun stuff to watch. So another stat that I was looking at, bringing us back to Joe Pavelski, our selfish goal scorer, 37-year-old Joe Pavelski, is he leads the playoffs with 2 game-winning goals. So maybe if you're the Dallas Stars, maybe what you need to do to win this series is just keep it close to the end and save Pavelski's goal, because he's obviously going to score. He's not going to pass the puck. Save his goal for the end of the game. He's good at it. He's going to score you game-winning goals. Save his goal. Let him win you the game. Let him run away with the score there, and just things will be great. He'll win you the game. He'll take the lead in game-winning goals. Everything will be hunky-dory, and we'll be on to wherever the road takes us after that. I do think whichever of these teams you are, looking to your future, you're going to need to score some more goals. Looking at the other games in this playoffs this year, goals are coming in a little bit more of abundance than the biggest for each team being 4 in one game. Obviously, we look in this series, and I mean, a team won a game with 1 goal, a team won a game with 2 goals. If this is any of the other series we've looked at today, you don't win a game with 1 or 2 goals. You need to score more than that. So, great defense wins you championships, but against certain teams, great defense is going to look like letting up 2 goals. And if your team's only going to score 1, that's not good enough. So, I'm curious to see if the offenses for these teams, which aren't amazing, Calgary, you'd think might be a little bit better, but I'm curious to see if these teams can turn it around. Obviously, yeah, Calgary has had 3 40-goal scores in the regular season. So, if you're Calgary, Tkachuk is the guy that needs to join Gaudreau. He has not scored yet. He has 3 assists. So, Calgary, you got too many guys who like each other. Johnny Gaudreau's passing the puck. Matthew Tkachuk's passing the puck. You need more Joe Pavelski's. You need more selfish guys who are like, I'm not passing the puck. I'm shooting. I'm winning this game. This is another series where I can't pick another winner. I'm a little biased towards Johnny Gaudreau because his nickname is Johnny Hockey, and that's cool. But I like what the Stars bring. I like that the stars of the Stars, some of the good players in the Stars haven't really turned it on yet, and it's really just been Pavelski, and Sagan's been doing what he can. So I think I go Flames tentatively, but I reserve the right to change that pick at any moment's notice, and this is the one series that I will play that card.